You're listening to The Quad, a Killjoys podcast. My name is Stephanie.
And I'm Annie.
And I'm Chris. We're talking about the 5th episode of Season 2 of Killjoys, Meet the Parents.
Ordinarily, by this time during the week, we've already have released our episode discussion. However, I've been very busy this past week, and I just haven't had time to edit our discussion episode. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get it to you more quickly. We do try to get it edited and released as close to the air date of the episode as we possibly can. However, this is a hobby. This is something we do for fun, so when things come up in our everyday lives, sometimes things get put on the back burner. However, I did want to go ahead and release our quick reviews of this episode, and I hope to have the rest of our discussion available here in the near future, but again, we'll see. Since we have a new episode coming up so very quickly, it's possible that the rest of our discussion won't be released until later on. But let's get started with our quick reviews. I enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun watching it. I thought the formal crushy dinner was a real hoot. And it was fun seeing Luke McFarlane and Rob Stewart doing the body swap. I thought they both did a pretty good job of mimicking each other. However, that particular plotline, it did feel a bit underdeveloped to me, almost as if what should have been an A plot for an episode got squeezed into a B plot time frame. In general, though, I thought this episode was one of the best comedic vehicles for Aaron Ashmore in a while. He's really very funny, but he hasn't been getting to do as much funny stuff of late. So, and generally, I thought it was a really good episode for showcasing Johnny as a character. He had a lot going on in this episode, and it was fun to watch. So what'd you think, Annie?
I really liked this episode, and like you, I love the funny awkwardness of Johnny trying to fit into crushy society and customs, and the standing up and standing down, and you know, when do I say stuff? When do I not? And then he and Pawter joining forces to solve the problem of the deadly fog, and showing Pawter's backstory and relations with her mom and her dad. And then I thought, like you, Luke McFarlane and Rob Stewart did a great job with the body swap. I thought they were spot on and capturing each other's mannerisms perfectly when it came to the two characters. Yeah, you're right. This was a good episode to showcase Johnny and the position he's in, and I thought the story did a really good job of developing the Pawter and Johnny relationship thus far. So I thought it's been a good build-up so far this season. I can totally understand Johnny's position of why he wants to maybe not be a killjoy anymore and just be the guy that gives a
Shih Tzu.
Yeah. But I'm really worried about the position that Johnny's left in, because I can honestly see why he's torn between wanting to still stay with his team and then be with Pawter and make a difference. But I was still yelling at the screen at the end, Johnny, don't you dare leave Dutch! But that was a great last scene between Dutch and Johnny, and Hannah Juncommon and Aaron Ashmore were really, really good, so I love that.
How about you, Chris? What did you think?
I also like this episode a lot. You know, seeing Pawter's family was pretty interesting, I thought, and especially since we've only seen glimpses of crushy formality and society and ritual and all that sort of thing. So I like that we sort of take a more immersive view, I guess, of the way crushy families work. And I thought Luke McFarlane and Rob Stewart did a great job with their body swapping. I mean, it was only a matter of time before they did a body swap episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Virtually every sci-fi fantasy show does a body swap episode at some point.
And I liked in this case that they had kind of laid the foundation for it previously, because we saw back in season 1 when Dutch projected herself into Khlyen's consciousness to see his surroundings. So it didn't just come out of nowhere, as it often does in sci-fi shows. There was actually a bit of a foundation laid for this possibility.
Right. They established that whole neural link thing as a thing that was possible via whatever Khlyen's fancy technology is. Goo technology. Right. Not to be confused with Fancy Lee. Anyway.
Who does like fancy technology?
It's true. My one complaint with this episode, like Stephanie said, I wish they would have spent more time with that body swap storyline, because it feels really important and momentous. You know, Dutch is facing off against Khlyen for the first time in a while. I mean, I know they only have 10 episodes, but it felt too important to spend so little time on. I understand it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, but there's so much more that should have been said then, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
if nothing else, I felt like Dutch should have been asking him far more questions than she did.
And not just leaving him for the last moment of their interactions, yeah.
Exactly.
But it's like it always has to be that way for the drama. I have to wait until the very end to ask you all the important questions.
I know, like, couldn't she ask him that while
When
he's
she
sending
was
that message to
stapling
Fancy
him?
Lee?
Come
Yeah.
on, Dutch. Surely you can manage your time better than that. We'd love to hear your thoughts about this episode of Killjoys. You can send them to killjoys@askgenretv.com. We love getting voice messages, which you can send us in a couple of ways. Record a voice memo on your smartphone and email it to us, or call our listener voicemail line at 972-514-7223. Follow us on Twitter or Tumblr at Killjoys Podcast. We often live tweet during both the East and West Coast airings of Killjoys in the US and Canada.
The Quad is part of the Ask Genre TV family of podcasts. To find our other podcasts about Orphan Black and Lost Girl and some other shows, you can visit our website, askgenretv.com.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you in the Quad. Yeah, because the Mossipede is only